What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo. Today we have quite a few things to talk about, starting with this celebrating the edition of Epic Quest Episode 2 Share Your Strategy event, which is pretty freaking cool. And this thing's going to last from the 1st of September to the 13th. So if you're going to do this, make sure you do this within this time period. And you're going to select and play one of the chapters of Epic Quest Episode 2, and then share your tips on how to clear the chapter on tips and guides, bulletin board. So you click on this and then type in how you're actually beating the chapters, and then add Epic Quest to the title. When sharing your tips and guides, make sure you add the Epic Quest to the title. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory as far as all this goes. And then the event reward, draw 10 lucky contenders. So 10 people are going to have a chance to get in a special signature fighter summon by 10 ticket for volume 3 for SSK or SS Kula, which is pretty cool. It's nice to see these kinds of little events. I mean, it kind of sucks it's only for the 10 players that actually have the best strategies, but still it's nice to see these kinds of things. I really like it. Then we go over to the new Chapter of Fight Season Event Mission Guide, where we're going to be getting a new Chapter of Fight on the 5th of September, which is right around the corner, which is nice. You know, we're going to get 2 rare enhancement hammers. We're going to be able to get clear each fight level in Chapter of Fight. We're going to be able to get some rubies, which is nice, and that's something we've come to expect from Chapter Fight. I know a lot of people have been like, where's Chapter Fight? Where's Chapter Fight? Don't worry, it's coming back. Okay, so then we have this, which is pretty cool. So we got the Kof All-Star Survey Part 2, and this is going to last from the 2nd of September to the 10th of September. So we got an 8-day period right here, and you can vote for whatever 2 characters that you want to see be improved or get reworked. Now, this is something that Kof All-Star has done in the past. They've done it for other characters like 97 Orochi. They did it for Kyo. They've done it for Terry. They did it for Zero and Ignis. I mean, they've reworked all of those characters that we've voted for. But there is some tidbits of information that I'm going to throw out at you guys that you might have forgotten about. We actually voted for Maizy, and they actually ended up just giving us an SS character, right? They didn't even rework Mai. They just gave us an SS character. So there's always that potential that maybe, I mean, they did the same thing for Orochi. They gave us PS Orochi, but they did end up reworking 97 Orochi. But they could make whatever 2 of these characters that we should decide to choose a BS or SS version. It is possible. That is something they have done in the past. So that is something to keep in mind whenever you're deciding on characters that you want to be improved or not. And I thought I'd give you all my opinions about, you know, the characters that you might want to choose, as far as, you know, whether they deserve it, you know, whether they have any shine in this game, but obviously if you're a fan favorite of the character, then you should vote for them. Vote for whatever character you want to, man. You know, it's all completely up to you. But I'm just going to give you my opinions on each of these characters as to whether or not I feel they really should be reworked and improved. So starting with Adelheid here, Adelheid's actually a solid character. He's already got a 3PG, he's already got immunity, super armor, shock damage. He's a really good character. He can remove buffs. I mean, is he the best character? No, but he's good. He's a solid character. It's not like he's terrible. Lady Geese, I would argue Lady Geese really isn't that great. I mean, she does have like an immunity core like Pretty Zeros, and she does have super armor, and she does have darkness, but her 3PG has grabs, or I'm sorry, her 5PG has grabs. It can be canceled immediately or interrupted immediately whenever she's in Immortal Dungeons. She really isn't good. So there's an argument really for Lady Geese to actually be reworked. Mukai, now Mukai is a character, he's one of my favorites. You know, I'm pretty much a fan favorite of this character. But Mukai, ever since he was released globally into the game, or released in the global version of the game, he's never been good. He's never been good for much of anything, except for maybe like in Rite of Passage, maybe for a requirement in RHD. I mean, he's got slow, sluggish movements. He does have hyper armor, but man, he's just bad. And that's the thing that sucks about the character. Plus, he just has a 5PG. He's a character I seriously would want to get improved because he's never had anything. The moment he came to global, they nerfed him. They took away his infinite combos. And like I said, he's just slow, sluggish. He's just a bad character, unfortunately. And then we get into Swimsuit Mature. I would argue that Mature is actually a decent character, you know, with the freeze core effect that she has, with the remove buffs, or like removing any buffs whenever you land a skill. I mean, she's actually pretty solid. She just requires a little careful gameplay, but she's actually pretty good. Ash, in my opinion, is another character similar to Mukai that really never had no shine. The moment he came into this game globally, he was just trash. And then it sucks because he's actually got a great leadership for green fighters with a 20% PG rate and a 45% increase of attack. And I really feel like this character he just never had nothing, right? He's got the core where he can get the super armor from burn, poison, and bleed. But those dot effects got to be applied to him before he gets his super armor. And because of that, whenever he's facing in all the immortal dungeons, even the one he has the type advantage against, which is Immortal Victor, his super armor doesn't come up. So you have to put like cards, like Noah set cards on him in order to get any kind of super armor. But it would be so much better if it was on his skills, or if he would add just a low cooldown effect in his core where we get super armor more often. That would really help this character so much. And then we're not even getting into PvP where he's just bad. I mean, all you got to do against this character in PvP is pretty much just guard and then whoop his ass. I mean, it's pretty easy, honestly. Ash is bad. And there's a saga based off of this character, and Mukai is actually part of that saga. And it's just a shame that he's so bad. I mean, really, in my opinion, I think like Mukai and Ash really, for me, are the top dogs as far as being reworked. Alice is already damn good. This is a solid character. She doesn't need no rework, man. Alice is freaking awesome. And Nameless, I know a lot of you are big fans of Nameless, and I am too. I think Nameless is an awesome character. And I see a lot of people that, they're wanting to pull for Nameless, and that's cool. As if you're a fan favorite, go for it. Vote for whoever you want. But Nameless is already a solid character. He has an insanely long 3 PG. He's got a great PG core. He has good PG rate. He's very tanky. He has super armor. He's got the super armor core. And Nameless is already very good. And this character already had a spot in this game as far as the limelight. He's already been a god. He was a god. Even when he came to Global for a little while, he was a god. But it wasn't long after in PvP that, we had characters like Unshackled Iori and Feske, who actually can remove PG game. That actually hurt Nameless quite a bit because he does rely on that a lot, especially in PvP. But in PvE, the guy is actually still extremely good. So personally, because he's already had the limelight, he's already been very strong, and he's still a very strong character in the game, PvE-wise, I just don't think this guy really needs to be worked. That's just my opinion. Kim is still a solid character, man, with her immune to petrify and the explosion. She's already really good. Clone, there's an argument for Clone Zero here to actually be reworked. And the good thing about that character is the fact that you can always farm for this character. You can farm for 1 memory for him every single week. So there is an argument for him. I mean, in 7 weeks, you could actually get this guy completely maxed out if you had all the other resources available to you. So there is an argument for that. He's a hell of a tank, thanks to his core and the fact that he's a defensive character. But he really isn't that good for PvP. But, guys, I don't really put a lot of stock in PvP. It's not a very rewarding game mode. It's pretty much a lag fest. I mean, you have a lot of desync issues. So I never really put much stock into that game mode. I used to back in the day before we had all the lag and all the bugs and all the things happening in Championship. But now that we do, I don't put a lot of stock into it. And plus we used to get rubies from there, and now we don't. So when I look at these lists, I'm just looking at it from a PvE perspective as far as who should be reworked and who shouldn't be. Pretty Big is already really good. She's not the best PvE character, but you can actually use her in Immortal Dungeons. She already has, hyper armor. She's already got poison damage. She's actually really good for certain Immortal Dungeons. Brianne, Brianne's pretty bad. She's not very good. I will say that. She's not very good at all, really, for anything. She's really more of a PvP character than anything. Psyche, I know a lot of people are pulling for Psyche. He's kind of like Nameless, right? They're pulling for him, but Psyche's had his shine. Psyche was already freaking insanely good whenever he came to this game, at least in PvP. He was just nuts. He's never really been that good in PvE, so from that perspective, yeah, he wouldn't be a bad character to vote for. He really wouldn't. I would love to see him actually be good in PvE because he does have a nice 3 PG. He does have a nice default. He could be really good for it, but he just lacks survivability because he has no immunity whatsoever, no decreased damage received, nothing like that. And then we get into Nakaruw here, Nakaruw, it's really funny with Nakaruw. She actually has a really good kit. She's got interrupt skills, super armor, immunity. She has double dot. She's got a lot going on in her kit, but her moveset is actually bad. She just doesn't do very good at all. It's a character that requires a lot of skill to play. But she's not terrible in PvE. She's not horrible. You can use her against certain Immortal Dungeons, but she's definitely on the lower tier as far as not such a great character. And, she could definitely use a rework for sure. Rock, I think Rock's already really good. Could he be better? Yeah, and you could say that for all these characters. I mean, they all could be better, but I just think some of them deserve it more than others, at least in my humble opinion. And Rock isn't one of those characters. I just don't think this guy needs to be reworked compared to some of these other characters on this list. And I definitely don't think Chris does. Chris is already a really good character. Great PG rate leadership, the increased attack to purple fighters, the dot explosion, the darkness. Already has a 3 PG. He's already a solid character. In fact, super freaking annoying in PvP unless you're using a character that has immune to petrify. And again, you know, I personally don't put a lot of stock in PvP because of all the reasons I explained earlier. But for me, you know, I'm thinking Ash and Mukai. So we're just going to go ahead and come down here. So we got Mukai and Ash. We'll submit that, baby. And then we see the percentages of characters that are voted for. And Adelheid got 8%, Mukai got 10%, Ash 11%. So there, you know, quite a few people are wanting those two to get leveled up. Nameless, I mean, guys, you know, I mean, I know he's a fan favorite, but this character's already so good. I mean, don't you want to see characters that never have been good in this game actually be good? Psyche's getting a little love. Okay, I see the All-Stars are pretty low. Nakaruw pretty low. That's actually kind of surprising to me. So this is one of the many reasons that I love playing this game. You know, we have such a good dev team, you know, that is willing to rework all our old characters. You know, they've done this before, as I said earlier, and I love it. You know, I love that they, you know, give us these options to vote for the characters that we love to get better. You know, and that because a lot of players, you know, we play games because we're fans of the franchise, we're fans of these characters, and we want to see these characters be better, be gods, and whatever. And I'm just happy to see that Netmarble does address these things. I think it's absolutely fantastic. So let me know in the comments who you voted for and why you voted for them. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT plus 7 time. The link will be in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See ya.